Yeah, when you're feeling down and motivated in the midweek, we got the guys here to make your life complete. Little John, Brandon, Cody, Carly, they're coming in to keep you motivated all week. New episode, same time every week. Don't gotta wait long for the next one to release. So don't go away, sit down, take a seat, enjoy Midweek Motivation with John and Carly. Hey.
Midweek Motivation.
Let's go. You took 2 days off. Well, welcome to Midweek Motivation, where we're just finding out Carly just finished 75 hard and then immediately quit 2 days after.
Okay, you're
not going to hold on to all those habits?
I didn't work out yesterday, and I worked out the day before, and I didn't work out the day before that. So I took a day off, went back, and took another day off.
You know, it's a holiday week. I think it's okay.
That's why I had it ending
and he just
by July
up,
1st.
And he just ran up here and was breathing. He's still breathing hard.
We did make him run. See,
I wasn't sure if I was going to make it on the show.
I figured you were sitting in your office trying to finish some things so that you could leave when we're done and go home.
That's exactly what I was doing.
I knew it. I had that feeling. I knew it. So we are fortunate enough to have a fearless leader who decided that we should take half a day off the day before Independence Day.
Yeah.
If you're
on the week of
district conference,
Listen,
which we're hosting.
Listen, don't let him fool you. He probably had something to do. So he was just trying to be the...
Well, in fairness, we haven't seen him.
Yeah, he been
since Sunday. So
he knew what he was doing.
He plans well. He always, these things always work out well for him.
Yeah.
Well, hey, anyways, welcome to Midweek Motivation.
Now that we have that all out the way.
Real conversations with real people about a very real God. Talk about real conversations. We just started. That was literally just our pre-conversation. Just kept going.
I didn't even realize we were on the show.
Well, I looked up and I saw that we were live, and we were there.
Well, I figured it's more fun if I don't tell you we're going live. We're just going to go live and just see what happens.
I think people enjoy it.
I think people enjoy it. We'll see.
I enjoy it.
So put in the chat, let us know if you actually enjoy our ridiculous banter, or if it's like, okay, guys, shut up. Let's get to the scripture. Let's get to the real reason it came, right? For some motivation. Hopefully, I think the motivation can be like, you just need to see some people in your life laughing and having fun.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you one thing we do on this show, above all else, we have some fun.
You got that right. Hey, we got a couple people online with us. We got my mom. We got Pam Harold. We got Cody Hampton Weddle.
Cody Hampton.
Man, that...
Wow, government name.
That middle name really threw you there, didn't it?
It did, man. Like, I was just reading the whole name.
Who was Cody Hampton?
Like, I was struggling.
We got a new subscriber, Cody Hampton.
John Brunk. and we got others. I can't see all of them. It says we got several live. I didn't give him a pan of barbecue. Didn't give who a pan of barbecue?
I don't know. Maybe you?
Oh, I got my pan of barbecue.
I got a pan of barbecue after last night, man. I know what we're eating for July 4th.
Man,
that was some good barbecue.
Bro,
all across. John Bronk had some that apparently I didn't get. I guess it was a different pan when I went up. He's like, hey, come try this.
Oh, it's so good.
And it was like vinegar. It had the vinegar flavor, which I really love. Oh, man, it was good.
Yep.
Yeah, that was very delicious. In case you weren't here this past Sunday, you missed out on some serious barbecue. So we had five different contestants.
No, there was more than 12. I think. I thought it was 12.
Yeah, we had.
See, I wasn't invited. I didn't know.
Yeah,
we had a bunch of different contestants smoking pork butts, and I can't remember the name of who won. But she won, and it was great.
Last name was Mayo.
Yes.
Her last name was Mayo.
Yeah,
it was the only female in the contest, and she apparently it was hands down. Like, all of them were great, but apparently it was hands down. Like, she checked all the boxes. Like, but they were all good. I think hers went like that.
I had several people come up and say, "Hey, are you judging?" I'm like, nobody asked me, but
are you judging me?
Why am I just now hearing about this?
You know, I tried to get into that list. I tried to become a judge. I tried hard.
I'm pretty sure I asked Dustin, and he's like, there was one spot left, and I took it.
Yeah,
I wanted to be the judge, but I was a little nervous about like the sauces and all, whether or not I could have them. I wish I would have been a judge. Yeah, I mean, it would have been worth it. It would have been worth it.
Bro, shout out to a show favorite, Sean Witt.
Yeah.
I watched him in that watermelon eating contest. My man.
Let me give you kind of a play-by-play of what happened there, and then we'll get to the show. Okay. So Sean's sitting beside me. We're eating, and they're calling for the contest. And I'm like, Sean, bro, you've won the last 2 years. You're not about to play? He's like, no, I'm going to sit out this year. He's got like 2 bites of food left. And everybody starts shouting, Sean, where's Sean Witt? Sean. And he scoops that last piece. And he stands up like the champ that he is. And he starts to make his way there. Everybody starts cheering. But here's the funniest part. My man took his shoes off for the competition.
I mean, everybody knows if you're in a watermelon eating concert, you can't, or contest, you can't do that with shoes on.
Well, Sean's always got nice kicks on too.
Yeah.
You don't want to get watermelon juice on him.
He pulled those shoes off and annihilated the competition again. It was great.
Did you see the kid that won the kids contest?
I didn't. I was too busy.
My man
eating
was
my
up
food.
to his forehead in watermelon.
Well,
he was going to town.
He was eating it with his eyes too.
Well, see, I didn't know Sean was eating prior to doing the watermelon eating contest, and apparently, I think it was Cassidy up there kind of narrating the thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You guys better hustle up." I can't remember who she said, but somebody's getting ready to win it. Bro, Sean kicked it into second gear and just started cleaning that thing.
It's like my man's got extra teeth in his mouth or something, man.
Let's get to the good stuff that happened on Sunday.
I mean, on that note,
Completely
Sean has
derailed
extra teeth in his mouth. Sean, go ahead, and if you're listening, comment if you do have extra teeth or if you have a normal amount. Anybody know what a normal amount of teeth in your mouth is?
Nope, but I ain't got the normal amount.
If you know, go ahead and put that in the chat below. I'm real
I'm
curious
going
now.
with 27.
I don't wanna
27? You
sound
think
stupid.
27?
I don't know.
I want to say 34.
32.
34 is
I thought it was 20 something on
is
each
this
row.
the Price is Right?
It's 30, give or take 4.
I guess it depends whether or not you've played sports as a kid. So, it's all dependent on if you know how many teeth are supposed to be in the standard human male's mouth. Go ahead and put that in the chat.
And we will give you a Reese cup for winning.
That sounds great. Why not?
Oh, never mind. We will give you peanut M&Ms for winning. Brandon's like,
We're giving away Brandon's peanut M&Ms or not? Oh,
No, the Reese
Reese's
cups.
cups.
That's why I said, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, can't give them
Couldn't
away.
do that. Yeah, we do love on our production volunteers, and we may or may not have a cooler and table full of snacks for our production volunteers.
Hidden somewhere for you.
Hidden
not to find.
somewhere.
And I don't know if we've asked you guys this or not. We probably have, so forgive me if we did. But I think there's a disagreement here, and I promise we'll get to the good stuff, of what the best Oreo is.
See,
Double
Brandon and I were
stuffed,
just having this
thin,
conversation earlier.
What mega stuffed or the original?
Respectfully,
Wink, wink.
Brandon is wrong.
See, unfortunately, I can only have the gluten-free ones now. But I will say, I think the double stuffed is just right. I think, and the reason I say that is because when you have the single stuffed and you rotate the Oreo, both of the cookies aren't covered. But when you have the double stuffed and you rotate the Oreo, both cookies are still covered.
We're out here spreading misinformation, guys.
Right? So what I hear is you're 1 for 1 in your ratio on your double stuff, but in your original Oreos, you are like 1 for 2.
Listen, Oreos survived off of the classic. If it was the right ratio with the double stuffed, that would be the classic Oreo from the get-go 50 years ago or whenever they invented them. That's my thought.
Now, all right, here's the
If you
last.
dunk them in milk, the double stuffed is
right,
too
so-
much cream.
Here's the last thing I'm gonna throw out
Let me
there.
solve this whole thing right now.
Uh-huh.
The proper way to eat an Oreo and the right Oreo is the deep fried one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You got to deep
Hands
fry.
down.
Deep fry it, cover it in some powdered sugar. Now that's an Oreo.
All right, I'm leaving.
Well, that's our show. Thanks so much for joining us
Hey,
today.
listen though, we had good eating on Sunday.
We had great eating.
Great eating.
but
on Sunday.
man, we had some even better things.
Yeah, I was trying to do the math because I've heard so many conflicting numbers. So we had how many baptisms did we do outside?
7 total.
We did 7. 2 were
5
spontaneous.
of them. No,
right?
5
5.
were spontaneous, if I'm not mistaken.
That's awesome.
Yes. And then 42 salvations, not including what took place in kids' church.
Yeah.
So
Tell us
we
a little
had-
more about what happened at kids.
So
church.
we had 40 salvations in service. We had 2 online, and we had 30 salvations in kids ministry.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I love
There
it,
it is.
man.
And the cool thing, I'm going to brag a little bit. My oldest son got baptized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude,
And-
we just put a reel out. It just went live on Instagram and Facebook like 20 minutes ago, and it's
Hannah
got
sent us some pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was
But
so special. I was cheering.
What I didn't know until afterwards is that Walker, my middle child, gave his heart to the Lord in kids' church on Sunday.
Oh my
That's awesome.
goodness, what a
so
day!
he was one of them. Yeah.
That's a
so
good
it
day.
was. I was walking around a proud dad.
That's good.
Sunday, man. It was cool.
Rightly
It was cool.
so. When
Yeah.
when you walked up to me and you was like, "Hey, you got room for one more?" I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
What do we do? Hold on. I don't know. But yes.
We'll find a way. We'll get a hose if we got to.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm so glad it was bright outside because I had my sunglasses on and nobody was seeing the tears running down
Couldn't
my
see
face
the
when
mist.
I saw him get baptized.
Yeah.
Man, it was so cool.
Yeah.
It
So
was
cool.
great.
We do have a consensus in the chat about the number of teeth.
Yeah.
It says 32.
My
is the
sister
consensus.
worked in a dentist office for several years.
All right, that's
so,
pretty credible.
I think she's probably right for once in her life.
Cody says he saw a deep fried red velvet Oreo the other day
See,
and
I
thought he
can't-
went to heaven.
I can't do the red velvet. Like a red velvet Oreo. Just
I think
how
if
are
you,
we back on? Cody,
if you
thanks.
give me, thanks, Cody.
Megan, where you at? Reel us in.
If you give me enough powdered sugar, I could get down with that. That'd be all right.
See, my wife eats the mint in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, that just tastes
I
like
can-
toothpaste.
I can handle those. The gluten free ones of those are pretty good, but still double stuffed.
If mint and chocolate tastes like toothpaste, we can't have any of that. But hey, good things happened
love my
Sunday.
toothpaste.
We had let's just round it up to 70.
Yeah,
Can we round to 70?
I'd say is
About 70 people
at
gave
least
their heart to
70.
Jesus on Sunday, either for the first time or rededicated. 7 people got baptized, made a public commitment of faith, not including the public commitment that we had people make up front,
Yeah.
walking down the aisle and shaking pastor's hand. Just a cool moment to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably been the most impactful thing for us and our family being at Parkway is being at a church that not only is not afraid to make that offer, right, but then it being in a place where people feel comfortable,
Yeah.
right, to walk that aisle and publicly say, yes, I'm choosing to follow Jesus. And that's just such an impactful thing for me because we've been in church our whole lives, and the way it happens here at Parkway has been really different for us. And that's kind of what drew us to Parkway and really what stuck us here, right?
Yeah.
And some dude offered me a job. That helped too.
offered you a job and had no authority to do so.
About a year ago. So it was last June that we met at New Friends Party. It was the first time I met this dude with this bald dude with the white glasses. Like, hey, you want to go have some? It wasn't Waffle
Waffle House.
What,
Yeah,
was
we went to
Waffle
Waffle
House?
House.
Yeah,
And-
went to Waffle House.
I'm like, hey, what do you think about working at the church? And I got zero authority to make that call.
So touching on that, the first time I met Carly was pretty funny too. We, me and my wife were in Gatlinburg, I think, and we had a board meeting, and I had to join Zoom, and Carly joined on Zoom also, and my wife was downstairs and I was upstairs on the meeting, and I pushed mute on mine and put my camera away for a minute, and I was like, Ashley, you got to come check out the new pastor. He wears white glasses. So she was kind of standing over my
man.
shoulder trying to not get on camera.
That's hilarious.
Fantastic. Yeah, the days you don't wear your white glasses, it really bothers me.
Yeah, I get a lot of triple takes. Like,
Right?
It bothers
All the time. It
everybody.
doesn't look like
and
you.
what was the lady said the first time you preached? Like, you're a good preacher, but you got to get rid of them.
she came up to me. She was like, and it was an older lady, and she, you know how they kind of gently shake your hand. She said, "That was some good preaching, but I was distracted by those glasses the whole time." And then as she's walking away, I look back like I don't know how to
What
take
do I
it.
do now?
And I look back, and as she's walking away ever so slowly, she's just still shaking her head. I'm like, So do I need to get rid of the white glasses then? Like,
and then fast forward 3 or 4 years later, what? A couple months ago, you preached with not your white glasses on.
right.
Everybody's standing out there like,
Who's this guy?
bro, Carly looks
hire
weird
somebody
out
new?
there. What's going on here?
Oh,
But
boy.
anyway, back
Well,
on
I'm
the
gonna reel us
salvation
back in.
part. Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the cool things I love about Parkway, and I've shared this with many people, and it's, when couples have a baby, everybody celebrates them, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've absolutely loved about Parkway is that Parkway people celebrate that salvation
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool, it gives me chills every time I see it happening.
Yeah.
It is so, so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Whether you're getting baptized or meeting Jesus for the first time, this is a place full of people that know how to celebrate. It's a good time. We don't take it lightly. But yeah, hey, last week, if you joined us last week, we got to be at the Blue Ridge Women's Center on our Undivided tour for June.
That was such a good show.
That was a good time.
I was in the chat. I wasn't on it, but that was such a good show.
It was probably one of our best.
Yeah.
I'm a little biased. I think every one of them, I'm thinking like, man, that was a good show. Like that was one of our best.
Probably not this one.
Right. Some of them I thought like,
right
that
now,
wasn't our
everybody
best.
they're instantly rating like, yes, last week was the best, but this week
Last week was the best. We got a lot to overcome. But
Yeah.
whenever we go off site like that and we get to meet our ministry partners and hear some of the stories, from what they're doing and the difference they're making, it always makes a big difference, right? It's always tough to compete with. But man, I'll tell you what, the new facility they're about to get ready to move into, Ann gave us a tour afterwards. It was so the space they're in right now is 4,500 square feet. Right, and it's a house just right there on the corner. They're real landlocked. They don't have any room to expand unless they build up. Right, the space that they're going to, the story is just ridiculous in how they got it. But
you got to go back and watch.
you definitely got to watch it. But what Ann was telling us is now they're going to have 10,000 square feet to be able to service clients. It's
crazy.
a building that is set up for exactly what they need it to do. They've got some retrofitting to do, and they got some old furniture that Megan was trying to steal. Like there's some good retro stuff in that building, but it's amazing to hear how God provided for them, and He's going to continue to let them do work and just give them that new building.
Yep.
That was great to see, and I like snooping. So as soon as we got done, Megan and I were like, "So we get a tour, right?" Like, because we love to snoop. And I told Ann and Lindsay, I said, even if you guys weren't going to give me a tour, I was definitely going to take one.
I mean, we kind
I'll
of do
go
that
snoop.
anytime we go on the road. We're just like, hey, we're gonna walk around.
Yeah, you mind if we just, well, sometimes we ask. Most of the time we just walk around.
And I told my wife right after that show, I was like, I'm praying for the day that 10,000 square feet is too small for them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm praying for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. So yeah, keep being in prayer for the Blue Ridge Women's Center. They're still hoping to be in that new building by January. If you know anybody that can help them out, if you have anything if you want to be able to get involved in Blue Ridge Women's Center, you can contact them. You can go to their website. You can just Google, the website's on there somewhere. It's on our website too.
Yep.
They go to parkwayroanoke.com/missions.
Yeah.
There should be links for
One of our
for them
partners.
there.
So.
But if you just search Blue Ridge Women's Center, you'll find them. They're doing great work there. And I told Lindsay if she's been on like 2 months in a
Right,
row. Like she's kind of a regular.
Yeah, she's. Did you see? I put in the chat. I was like, "Welcome to the team."
Right. Well, that's what I told her as we were leaving. So she helped me load our big old crate up. And I said, "Well, Lindsay, I'll see you next month." So I don't know where we're going to see her, but she's probably going to show up.
Yeah,
Showed
she'll pop up
midweek
somehow
past
or
2
another.
weeks. So I have something for you gentlemen that I did not put in the notes intentionally.
Uh-oh.
Right? This is, man, I really need like theme music. It'd be great. It is
I think I
July
got
the
a phone
3rd.
call I need to take.
Right?
Yeah.
It is July the 3rd. Tomorrow
What was
is
that?
July the
What'd you
4th, right? You're going to love this. And you can play along at home, but we have some July 4th trivia just for you two
my.
gentlemen. We need a little friendly
This is about to be
competition.
embarrassing.
Right? So here's what we're going to do. Okay?
Oh boy.
You're gonna buzz in by saying your name.
Can we phone a friend?
No, you can't phone a friend. Okay. Now I looked these up this morning. Right.
You can't believe everything on the internet.
I mean, it was the third link I found, so it's probably super accurate. Right. So we have 10 questions. I don't think we'll get there, and we don't probably have time for all that. So we're gonna have you buzz in with your name. Okay. right? Let's start with 5 questions. We'll see how we go. We might need a tiebreak. Buzz in with your name, right?
Can you tie break 0 to 0?
We will go with the correct answer,
Right.
okay? Whoever gets it correct. So if Carly buzzes in and gets it wrong, you get a chance to answer, okay? But we got to be
Hey,
quick.
we
so
want you
it
to
can be like
answer in the
3.
chat too.
Definitely answer in the chat. And luckily there's a delay, so you guys won't get to cheat. Cool? Sound good? All right, so
No,
buzz in with your
does
name.
not sound good.
Right?
All right.
All right, now
All
don't
right.
look. I got all the answers
All
over here,
right.
so
All
no
right.
cheating. All right? What better thing could we do than have a little friendly competition the day before we celebrate America's birthday? Right?
America.
America.
Right? All right, question number 1. Remember, buzz in with your name when you know it, okay? How much do Americans spend on 4th of July food?
What are we talking here? Like average family or like
that's
a
it.
grand total?
Americans.
American
Total.
as a total.
Carly,
What you got?
too much.
Too much.
Is that the right answer?
We might make a judgment call. You know what? I was looking for a number. We're going to go with that. It is too much.
I'm going to say 2.3 billion.
Oh, not even in the ballpark. So definitely
wow.
too much.
Okay.
10 billion.
Man, I was thinking
Billion
2.3
with a B.
million. Wow.
10 billion. So that's 1 point for Carly.
Yes, too
10 billion.
much.
Yes, that is too much. Far too much. Make sure you're playing along in the chat.
You know, like that old Family Feud. Good answer.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer. Yeah, it's
Even
not
when
like
it was
that.
the worst answer ever. Good answer. Like, for real?
Oh, there's some clips. You need to watch some clips on YouTube of that.
I
There's some
have.
terrible answers out there. Mostly Steve Harvey's face.
Yes.
On most of his
Steve
most of the
Harvey
answers.
makes that show now.
All right, question number 2. Here we go. 1 point for Carly. Definitely need some theme music next time we do this. What year did the Star Spangled Banner, the song, become the national anthem?
I read this in an article not too long ago, but
5 seconds. 3 seconds.
1803.
You want to take a shot?
1865.
And you guys are so off. 1931.
That's what I
Oh,
meant to
wow.
say.
That's what you. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
what you meant to say.
Yeah.
All right. So no point there. We won't give you a point for being closest.
Man.
No points there. Yeah, 1931. The Star Spangled Banner became the national anthem.
This is embarrassing.
It was written in 1803.
No, it wasn't.
These are-
1865.
These are some deep cuts. All right. I looked these up this morning. These are some real deep cuts. These are things that they did not teach you in history class. So I thought it'd be fun.
I don't
to make,
remember anything they
Make
taught
you
I
me
feel like I
guys.
need to at least answer
Answer them.
one right to be able to celebrate tomorrow.
That's true. We might have to send you to Canada if you can't get one
Can
of
you
these
give
right.
us an easy one? Like what colors are on the flag or something like that?
I mean, they're right in front of you. So
Exactly.
I can't make it that easy on you. All right. 3rd question. Who is considered the main author of the Declaration of Independence? Don't overthink it.
Brandon.
What you got?
No, you are not the main author.
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson is correct. We are all tied up, ladies and gentlemen. 1 to
I was going to
1.
say Abraham Franklin.
Abraham Franklin.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably an Abraham and there's probably a Franklin written in there. All right, 1 to 1. Question number 4: Who was the first person? Okay, the first person to sign the Declaration of Independence. Number 1. Who signed it first?
Brandon.
What you got?
John Adams.
Oh, that's so close. That's not correct. You want to take a shot at it?
Thomas Jefferson.
No, not even close. You were. I can't give you half a point. It is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. John Hancock.
He was the first one to sign
That's
it?
what this says.
That's where
Look,
John Hancock
everything
came
on the
from.
internet is true.
We need to double check that. I know his was the largest signature.
Cody says 1776. $1,776 is the only right answer for how much Americans spend on food. I mean, a little bit more than that. And your wife is asking if you're cheating.
No, she's asking your wife if she's cheating.
Oh, she's nah. I mean, she is a teacher, but I don't know. I'm not. I don't know if I have that much faith. All right, so no points there. All right, let's just
Oh,
make
boy.
this one. Let's just make this one for all the marbles.
All right.
You guys are tied. So
For-
whoever
for
gets
all the
this wins,
Reese's.
right? For all the Reese's, for all the Reese's that Carly can't eat.
Oh, I can eat them. Probably shouldn't.
Let's see. bunch of them. Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, easy one, right?
No.
Oh.
No, it's a good one, not an easy one. A good one wouldn't be an easy one. How many times does the Liberty Bell ring on Independence Day?
0.
I mean, you got to buzz in with your name. But
Brandon, 0.
no. You want to take a shot for the game?
11 times.
You going with 11?
I sure am.
What are you basing that on?
I don't know.
The Liberty Bell's not even hung anymore.
All right, you guys are going to cry. Yeah, they tap it. You guys are going to cry when you hear this.
It's
What's
just
that
one
ring?
time.
13.
See, I was close.
For the 13
Close only
original-
counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. 13 for the original 13 colonies.
That's
what,
how many stripes are on the flag.
that's what I meant to say was 13.
Man. All
Well,
right.
see, I said 0 because the Liberty Bell is no longer hung in Independence Hall.
Yeah, so they take a little hammer and they tap it.
Is that considered ringing, though?
I mean,
It
It's got to
rings.
be rung from the
according to my
inside.
Google search, that's what it's. Maybe they'll reach in and tap everything inside. All right, here we go.
Last one?
Oh, well, this is a good one. Well, we got to have a winner. We can't have a tie.
But we can
So
always
are
rock,
we in
paper,
s-
scissors, shoot.
Are we
Yeah.
in sudden death?
Now, you guys will get one of these. All right.
Are you sure?
I think so. I think you'll get this one. How many of the 30 MLB teams, how many of the 30 MLB teams will play on Independence Day? I'll give you a hint. It's an even number.
Brandon, 30.
30 is correct. All
Oh,
30
that's
MLB
what-
teams will play tomorrow. Because what
You
more
win.
American sport?
Good job.
Points for Brandon. Brandon is now our first annual Midweek Motivation 4th of July trivia winner. Although it's winning with 2 points, I don't know if it counts.
Oh, that was
as-
only 6 questions. I mean,
Yeah, look at
two-
I'm not sure that's a passing answer.
Please read Cody's comment.
Where's Cody at? Which one?
Oh, here, I got you.
Yeah, read it.
John Hancock was first and biggest because he fully embraced the treason they were about to commit.
That is true.
I mean, he definitely
Oh,
signed the biggest.
This
which
is a family show, but you know what the penalty for treason was back then?
not hugs from kittens.
There's no huggy poo kissy poo, as Pastor would say.
They weren't giving him any sugar.
No sugar, none.
Oh, see, John Brunk got 13. Look at that. Way to go, John Brunk. Let's see a couple of. John Brunk got John Hancock in there, too. Courtney said Thomas Jefferson. I don't know which question she's answering, which is a little bit of a flaw. But let's see. Who else got John? Yeah, Cody had John Hancock. Trevor says 1776, and that's. Sorry, Trevor. Not
Not
right
right.
at all.
No.
Nope.
But yeah, give it up for Brandon in the chat. Way to go.
Way to go.
2 out of 6 questions correct. That's a failing grade. but
it's
this
a-
ain't school.
But
This
it's a
is
winning
midweek.
grade.
It's a winning grade. Why not? I got some others. I'll show you guys
And
the
not
others
to
later.
mention, Carly's only one right was too much.
You know, that's a fair point.
Hey, you gave me points for it, so
Look, I got to give the boss some points every once in a while. Okay,
thank you.
I like my job. Well, anyways, it is Independence Day tomorrow. We're gonna celebrate, hopefully with some hot dogs. I'm gonna celebrate with some leftover barbecue, right? Which feels a little bit wrong. Feel like I should be having some hot dogs, but
We
I
can
got so much
probably have a little
barbecue.
bit of all hot dogs, burgers, barbecue.
You got to grill something, right? You gotta
I
be
ain't
outside.
grilling nothing. Somebody else is
Right.
grilling for me, I hope.
We're having ribs on the 5th.
I mean, you can't go
Probably
wrong.
hot dogs and hamburgers tomorrow.
You could probably get away with that. That's
Yeah.
not so bad. But I was thinking about 4th of July. I was thinking about what it represents, and really it boils down to we're celebrating our freedom, right? Our independence. We're blessed in America to have freedom, and in several different forms, right? The thing I think that means the most to us in our context is freedom of religion, right? We get to meet here. One, we get to do this right now.
Yeah.
We get to talk about Jesus all over the world, right? Except in Russia, right?
Apparently.
We get blocked every week. by
Russia blocks us, but we get
We
to
could sneeze online and Russia would block us.
we get to send this message talking about Jesus all over, right? I mean, there's no laws against, prohibiting us from doing this. We get to gather here every single
Yeah.
Sunday, and, share the message of Jesus, and 70 people get to meet Jesus, and, all that stuff. And there's no laws preventing it. So we get all that freedom. And I was thinking about freedom, and freedom in America, I feel like maybe this is just my generation that's taken this, or I'll say our generation. That's probably about right. I should probably say that.
We're all pretty close.
Yeah.
We're all pretty close. I think y'all are a bit older than me, but that's all right.
Easy.
Go ahead and
now.
put in the
Easy.
chat who you think is the oldest. Because I
And
have
don't
a
judge
feeling.
by
I'm pretty
hairline.
sure. Don't judge by hairline.
We're all wearing hats, so they can't.
Okay.
tell.
Don't judge by color of the beard then.
If you judge by hairline, I'd win.
Right.
Well,
I mean-
or lose. However you want to put
Depends.
it.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
On what it's like golf, right?
I'm the only one that's not running away.
Yeah. Oh, mine
Look,
done,
mine
mine
was a
done ran
choice.
away.
Mine was a choice.
Yeah.
Right. I made an active decision.
I was on the verge of growing the first ever natural mohawk.
I'm gonna need pictures of that. Actually, I saw pictures of you with hair. It was a good look. It wasn't bad. It was a
you.
good look.
My wife hated it.
Oh, that's what Cody says. Herbie Hancock. If you've ever seen Tommy Boy. Thank you, Cody. Cody, thanks for always being on the show.
Cody, I
even
thought
when
you had
can't
some
be on
work
the
to
show.
do.
I mean, this is work.
I know he claims he's got work, and then he's on there making nonsense.
Right.
Joking on us and stuff.
It's kind of the best
Cody.
nonsense.
I love it.
But freedom in America and freedom in the Christian sense tend to be a little bit different, right? So freedom in America, we tend to look at freedom as like ultimate freedom. I can do anything I want. There's nobody to stop me, nothing, right? Well, here's the reality. That's not really what freedom is, right? Like if you think about it, in my house, my children are free, right? They're free Americans. But there are rules in my house, right? And there are consequences when you transgress those rules, right? Yes, every parent just jumped in the chat, whether audibly or, maybe just in your spirit, right? I've never, all of us have had to discipline our children when they transgress those rules, right?
Spare the rod, spoil the child. Totally kidding. Definitely discipline my kids.
But that's kind of how we tend to think of freedom, right? And our culture looks at, I have freedom of speech, I have freedom of religion, I can say and do whatever I want, right? And I'm free from consequences. Well, there's a difference between being free from consequences, right, and being free from penalty under the law, right?
Yeah.
So I can do a whole lot of things, but I can say anything I want on the internet right now, right? But that doesn't mean this guy to my right wouldn't fire me for it, right? And wouldn't be allowed to fire me for it. There's a whole lot of things I could say that as an American, I have complete freedom to say them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm free from the consequences of them, right? So I came across a verse years and years ago, in Genesis chapter 1. One of the first things that, Genesis chapter 1. One of the first things that God says to Adam and Eve, right? First 3 words he ever spoke to them together is, "You are free," right? And he's talking about eating from every tree in the garden, right? So he gives them that freedom right in the beginning. And I had this, I posted that on Facebook and thought it was really great, profound thing. And then I had one of my old high school teachers, my science teacher, responded. He said that freedom wasn't completely without consequences, right? That freedom wasn't completely without strings. Like, you can be free, but there's consequences, right? So let's say there's an apple tree. You're free to eat all of these, right? But it's going to hurt when you eat them all, right? Yeah. Like if my kids, right? I just took Grayson out to IHOP for his birthday, right? He gets, when we take them out for birthday breakfast, they get to order whatever they want. I don't put any restrictions on it. But they're not free from the consequences of their actions from all the sugar and the caffeine, because he chose
like
Dr. Pepper and a cupcake pancake.
Sunday. There was consequences,
right? You're free.
Yes, there were.
But there are consequences. So I was thinking about this idea, and what really brought me to is this verse, and it's in this context, 1 Corinthians 6, chapter 6, verse 12. Paul is writing to a church that there are a bunch of new Christians. A lot of them have probably some holdovers from old religious law, old Jewish law, right? And there's a whole lot of arguments happening about, like, well, you got to do this to be a follower of Jesus. Yeah. You got to live this way. You got to eat this way. You got to behave this way. And what Paul really gets down to is like, look, guys, we're not under the law. Yeah. That's not what we're about, right? And there's a whole lot of things happening. We're going to hone in on verse 12 here. It says, this is Paul I think he's being a little sarcastic with them, right?
Would be surprised.
Paul, I think, has got a little sarcasm when
Yeah.
you read him. But Paul says this way, and he's quoting them, which is what it's real important to look at the punctuation in Scripture, right?
Yeah.
I know that's not the fun thing to say, right? That's the nerdy thing to say. But punctuation is important. So what he's saying is, imagine Paul in the air quotes, like,
It's
I
funny
have
you
the
say
right
that,
to
'cause
do
when
anything.
I was reading the notes earlier when you sent them out,
Yeah.
I imagined Paul saying, I have the right to do anything using the air quotes.
That's exactly right. If air quotes were a thing in 60 AD or whenever it was he's writing this, this is Paul writing this. It's like, I have the right to do anything.
Yep.
That's what you say, but not everything is beneficial, right? And I love that word beneficial, right? Because you're free. But not everything that you're free to do is beneficial to you, right? Then he goes on to say, he puts the air quotes up again. It's like, I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. So he's putting caveats on their freedom. Look, guys, you're absolutely free. You're not under the law. Christ died once for all, risen, right? Gave us freedom from the law. All we've got to do is put our faith in Jesus and follow Jesus, and that's it, right? We don't have to add anything else to that to be a follower of Jesus.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so Paul is refuting all of that. But what I'm kind of imagining here is they started taking their freedom a little too far, right? It's like, oh, wait, freedom. Like, oh, I can do anything. I can say anything I want. Like, it's all good now, right? Jesus set me free to do anything.
Yeah.
And Paul's reeling back. Is like, whoa, guys, look. Because if you look at with the context around it, the Corinthian church was engaged in some things that were not beneficial.
No.
Right? Wouldn't even be allowed under the law. I'm not sure how it got there.
I'm really kind of glad that Paul isn't still here, because I'd hate to read the letter that he'd write us right now, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He'd probably just completely remove the air quotes and everything and just cut right to the core.
I like to think there would be some pretty harsh language in there. Not so much to say foul language, but man, he'd be fighting back. Kind of like when somebody cuts me off on 460 out
when
here.
you have to resist that urge.
Like the
that's when you yell out cuss word instead of yelling out a cuss word.
Right. Right. But that's what Paul is getting at. Said, look, you're absolutely free in Christ. You're not under the law, right? We don't avoid these things because of an archaic set of religious rules, right?
Yeah.
We avoid these things because they don't help us follow Jesus. Yeah. Right. And so often I think that's where, if you grew up in church, I grew up in church my whole life. And I was a youth pastor for a long time. I got to see students like, oh, we shouldn't do this because God doesn't want you to do this. Well, hold on. No. We don't follow a specific set of rules because God wouldn't like it, right? We follow these set of rules, and we set guardrails in our life to help us get closer to Jesus.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I think about this story that I heard a pastor. It's a true story, but he was sharing a testimony from one of his services, and he says he has this guy, like, just if you imagine smoker's cough, the smell and all that, and he has this guy come up to the front and the Lord's just been really convicting him all during the service, and the guy comes forward and he says the sinner's prayer, and he prays all that, and then they're celebrating, and he asked the pastor, he said, so you telling me because I prayed that prayer I got to quit smoking? And the pastor's response just blew me away. He was like, no, you don't have to. But if you truly seek after God, you will want to eventually.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then he said, I don't know. You telling me that because I just prayed this prayer that now I can't go home and drink? He said, I'm not telling you can't do that. You can go home and drink if you want to. But I promise you, if you follow God and you seek after God, these things that you think you can't do now, you won't even want to do them if you are in full pursuit of God. So just because you pray a prayer don't mean, oh, well, now I can't do that.
Right.
No. It needs to be more of a, I don't want to do that because I know what that thing does to me, not because, oh, no, I can't have fun now. No, I'm going to tell you, man, I have more fun now being a believer than I ever had in my years of partying and everything I did.
Let's go. Me too.
Yeah. So all that brought me to one more verse. So I want to get this in before we finish today.
Yeah,
too.
we're getting close.
I know somebody talked too much at the beginning of the show. I don't know.
Brandon.
Man, gosh, we'll have to work on that. Although we always do that. That's all right. That's the way it goes. One more verse I wanted to share, and this is a verse. It keeps coming up.
Everywhere, man.
It's coming up all the time.
In messages, on T-shirts,
This
in
one show up on a
chat.
T-shirt?
I don't know. It probably did.
Yeah, sounds okay.
If not,
No, that was James.
Cody,
We'll
put
put
in
it
the
on
chat.
a shirt.
Put it on a T-shirt.
But this really brought it back up to me when when I was thinking about this idea of getting rid of things that are not necessarily bad things, right? So Hebrews 12:1 says this way. It says, therefore, which you got to go back and read Hebrews 11, right? So it's a whole list of people who loved and followed Christ even before Christ came into the world, right? It says, therefore, chapter 12, verse 1 in Hebrews, it says, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders. And this is the part that I think is interesting. And the sin that so easily entangles. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out before us. Now, what's interesting about that, right, is the writer of Hebrews doesn't say, hey, man, get that sin out of your life.
Yeah.
It's going to hold you back.
Yeah.
That's not the only thing he says. He says everything that hinders,
Yep.
right? That can be anything. You know, there's no list there. There's not like, all right, X, Y, and Z. It's everything that hinders.
Yeah.
And which means he doesn't make a list, which means it's up to you to figure out,
Yeah.
as a follower of Christ,
Yeah.
what's holding you back.
The thing that holds Brandon back might
That's
not
what I
be
was
the
gonna
thing that
say,
holds
yeah.
me back.
Right.
You know, and we have to remember that. And you know, let me take it a step further real quickly. Like, we have to understand that in a deeper level as well. You know, if I know that Brandon struggles, let's just say drinking. If I know that Brandon struggles with drinking, I need to understand that I don't need to be drinking around him.
Yeah.
Because that is something that hinders him, and I don't want to hinder my brother's walk, man. So again, I think it's important that there's not a list there, and the fact that it doesn't say just get rid of the sin.
Yeah.
It says get rid of the things that hinder you. Oh, and get rid of the sin. Like it separates those two.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, because it might not be intrinsically bad things that are hurting your walk with Christ.
Yeah, you might
Like,
not be breaking a 10 commandment, but it's
Right.
something that is hindering you from being who God created you to be.
Oh yeah, there's a book I read while I was in college by C.S. Lewis called The Great Divorce, and I'm going to butcher this, so just read the book. It's a great book. If I can read it, you can certainly read it. Okay, I'm a horrible reader. It's actually a pretty short book, but he gives an example of this one lady in this book who she's in hell, right? And she's surprised to find herself in hell, and come to find out that the great sin that put her in hell was because she loved her son and put her son in the first place and prioritized her son over a walk with Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, loving your son, I mean,
Yeah.
that's everything. That's great. No one would say that's a bad thing, right? And C.S. Lewis is not scripture, right? Just to be clear, right? Just to be clear, C.S. Lewis is not scripture.
But he's a pretty intelligent individual.
He's pretty darn close, right? He's making the point of there are good things, right? Intrinsically good things that people there are decent people in hell, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, it's not all Hitler, like it's not Mussolini, it's not all the worst people in the world that go to hell.
Yeah.
It's people who don't accept Jesus, right? And put other things in Jesus's place, right? So the question I have for all of us around the table, because I was working on this and I was thinking, like, man, I stepped on my toes a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I got some things in my life that aren't bad things.
Right.
But are they really beneficial? Are they helping me get closer to Jesus? So I want to ask you, and really us at the table, what things in your life exist that are not beneficial to you?
Yeah.
I love that word beneficial. Every once in a while, a word just kind of hangs in my mind to start thinking about it again. And I think beneficial is going to become one of those things. So, so if that's you out there, and as we were talking, God brought something to your mind of, you know, hey, this isn't a bad thing. Maybe it is sin, right? Which most people aren't surprised by the sin in their life. Most people know that there's sin in their life. But whatever that is, if there's something in your life that isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know, but something that's not helping your walk with Christ, but in fact hindering it, man, just follow the example of Hebrews 12 and lay it off.
Yeah.
it's not helping you run this race of following Jesus. So we just want to encourage you. One, you're not alone. You got 3 guys at this table that have all been there.
Right.
I would say, I would dare say each of us right now in this moment could probably think of something. It's like, like maybe it's not keeping us totally from Jesus, but it's not helping us get close to Jesus.
Oh, my light went off as soon as you said it.
Right.
I was like, I know what it is.
So we just want to encourage you wherever you're at. If that's you, there's hope. If you need a little bit of extra hope, if you need some motivation, we'd love for you to jump in our group. You can text the word motivate to 540-900-3838. We'd love for you to be a part of that. We're honored that you chose to join us today. Share this, like this, subscribe with somebody, share this with somebody in your life that needs it. Hope you have a great week and stay motivated.
1, 2, 3.